Hello, everybody, this is Purge, bringing you guys another gameplay commentary. I'm doing a replay cast today, so I hope you guys are ready for that. I know that some of you guys like these better than some of my live gameplay commentaries. I do know that in a way it's better because I can give more commentary, so hopefully we can aim for that. This is a game that we played last night, actually in the middle of the night. It was like 3 a.m., something like that. I was playing with Blitz there, that's the pink person, myself, KKK, can't remember what his name is, starts with a J, Aosin, as well as Barney, and we are playing against Vic the Slick. He's a former pro fighting game player, and this was like the second game in a row, I think, that we played against Master Roshi. We kept matching up against these guys in the game, so a couple updates about stuff. God's just moved into my house, so now he is my official roommate. LD, I believe, is leaving this week from Pennsylvania, and pretty soon he will be in the house. But more importantly, I'm going to Hawaii this weekend. Anyone else? Okay, it's just me. My grandmother's going, and she wanted somebody to go with her because she's getting kind of old. She's like 75 now, I think. So I'm just going to go to Hawaii for the weekend. I think she already has like a condo and stuff picked out, and my dad's a airline pilot, so I can get fairly cheap tickets, and I figured if I can spend a couple $100s and go to Hawaii for like 4 days, I might as well go with. And I think my aunt and uncle are also there, which should be pretty fun. So I'll just like hang out and have a good time. So I'm going to try to stream a lot the next 2 days before I have to leave. That means I'm going to be streaming as soon as this video is up. If you guys are watching this video, finish watching it and then go watch me stream. Or you can pause it, go watch me stream, and then come back and watch this video later. But I will be streaming tonight and hopefully tomorrow as well, so I have enough videos built up. Other than that, Hawaii this weekend, and next month I'm going to MLG Dallas. If you guys want to meet me there, I will be there watching StarCraft 2. I'm also going to the next IPL, which is a week after MLG Dallas, I believe. So those two things is what's going on in March. And I have a wedding in March too, so I'm doing like crap loads of stuff. It's like wedding, I get back, 5 days later I go to Dallas, and then the next weekend I go to IPL. So I am like, I'm never gonna fly so much. Well, I don't know what the future is gonna hold, but I'm gonna be doing a lot of flying in the next month. I think there we go. My keyboard is being kind of weird. All right, so I am playing a Naga Siren this game. So I believe I randomed. Yeah, I did random here. Naga Siren as a hero is right now played more as a support than as a carry, but I am going to be playing her as a carry this game. I did actually random Windrunner, but Will didn't want to play Naga Siren, so I ended up playing her. Biggest mistake that I made about this, which is just terrible, is the fact that since he randomed the hero, I didn't get to choose my cosmetic items, I don't believe. So I'm pretty sure maybe they got picked up later, because I kind of seemed like I had the items later. I think I'll have his items until I die, and I know I died this game, so I think until I die I have no cosmetics. But I know for a fact that I obviously dropped those swords. You guys saw the video, so I was a little upset that I didn't get to use them. But regardless, I am in the game. I am an Naga Siren. We have a tri-lane. Barney's playing Shadow Demon. Aosin's going to play a support Mirana, which is kind of weird, but it's actually kind of a good dual support disabling lane, because you disrupt, and then you get an arrow, and then preferably people die. The main reason Naga Siren isn't played as a carry right now in the professional scene like she was previously, it's because her base damage is so much lower. And if you guys look at that, I only have a Ironwood branch, but I'm hitting for 46 base damage, which is terrible. Previously, she was hitting about 60 at level 1, and this made last hitting very simple. So because her base damage is so low, I opted to get a Quelling Blade. And if I didn't get a Quelling Blade, I can promise you guys I would have missed a lot more last hits. Now, pretty common Naga Siren build, you should max Riptide first. That's her third skill. It does a AoE damage nuke as well as some damage. They showed a little bit here on the bot lane, which is a slight mistake, because now Tide now knows that there's two heroes trying to kill him, and if they did actually get a disruption up, that would have most likely been a first blood. So kind of a big mistake from them to get that close there, and now Tide is finally going to come back up to the wave, which if they actually waited a little bit longer, they might have been able to actually snag him here. But I think I was going to, yeah, I Riptided this. I only got 2 of the 3, but I ended up doing that so that I could get more last hits, because otherwise I was a little afraid that I would end up missing it. The reason I bought extra regen, and by extra regen I mean a pretty typical game is a Tango as well as a Salve. I bought extra because I wasn't really planning to get any regen items. A Naga Siren preferably should either go one of these two builds. You should either have Arcane Boots, or you should have a Soul Ring with Tranquil Boots. And this game I opted to go for an Arcane Boots because I knew that I was going to be doing a lot of farming. I kind of felt like going Radiance this game because carry Naga Siren, I think it's a decent option. I know that Diffusal Blade as well as Manta are more popular right now on heroes like Phantom Lancer than Radiance was in the past, so maybe that's the better build on Naga Siren, but I opted to go for a Radiance this game because, I don't know, I felt like a little safer farming that way. So I'm just kind of looking around on the other lanes, of course, occasionally. So yeah, I'm going to go for lots of extra regen because I was not going to get a Tranquil Boots. I'm doing a little harass here on the Tidehunter. I still get decent last hits, and if I can trade evenly with him there, it's not the biggest deal. It's actually an okay thing to do. So I'm going to use Riptide to get last hits and harass occasionally. Preferably I won't take those Anchor Smash hits. It's only doing about 75 physical damage right now because Tide's only level 2 here. But you do have to be a little careful. You do not want to eat that too much because it is going to extremely hurt your last hitting by quite a bit. So still getting good last hits. They are going to get the kill mid. The reason I kept looking over is because we're all on Skype here, and it was cute. They were making quite a bit of noise, so blocking some damage of the Stout Shield, but I once again do some good harass on the Tidehunter, and it does lower armor by 3, I believe, at level 2, so any little bit will help for the right clicks. Despite getting my damage lowered, I still actually can do decent damage to him in a typical situation. I did eat way too many Anchor Smashes from him this game, I think, but it's going okay. Kind of looks like he has boots, actually. I'm going to click on him and see what he has. Maybe it looks like I'm doing some more hits. I'm actually out of mana is the problem. I really wish there was a support hero here, because if there was anyone, we would have been able to kill him. But I'm going to pick up my energy booster now. It's kind of late to grab that in the sense that buying energy booster first does give you more mana, but really is only pays off hard if you still have a big mana pool. The fact that my mana is empty before I picked up the energy booster actually kind of cost me quite a bit, because it only gave me 30 net mana. If my mana was full and I picked up the energy booster, I would have gotten an extra 200 out of it or so, or 250. Well, 250 for how much the energy booster is. I would have gotten 250 out of it, which is obviously very good. So until I finish the Arcane Boots, I'm now out of mana, but I think I used my Riptide pretty effectively. I did some harass versus the Tidehunter. This is not really a Naga favored lane here. I would argue maybe even a Tide favored lane. It's kind of equal, if anything. Neither hero should probably kill each other. Tide doesn't really have enough damage, and I would feel like a Naga Siren's maybe a little limited on mana here. He is going to get one deny out of me. Actually, he did not there, which is a slight mistake from him, but even still, I'm out of mana, and I need 200 gold, and then I can finish boots. I attacked a little bit late there, so I missed that one, but as a whole, I seem to remember my last hitting was okay in this lane setup. So, and now we are going on the Tidehunter. I do not have enough mana, unfortunately. There's the disruption. Aosin was really close to the Tide, which means arrowing is a little tough to do, but at this point, a nice Anchor Smash from him. He's going to gush on Aosin, and the arrow is going to squeeze by, and we will not get a kill on the Tide, which is very unfortunate. He probably had a Stout Shield, and he's got boots most likely, so his chances of dying there are actually pretty low, because we probably need a lot of burst to be able to get him. If I actually had Arcane Boots at that point, I might have been able to snag the kill, or at least help out a lot more, because the minus armor would have helped with 3 heroes attacking him big time. Looking for an arrow right now, but he's going to have to run past the creep wave, and nothing happens. I actually lost the catapult because of that, which I was quite frustrated with. But regardless, I've got Arcane Boots finished. Another really good reason to get Arcane Boots if you're the farmer of a tri-lane is that your supports will actually want that. So I pick up Arcane Boots, that gives mana to them, especially the Potom. Potom will have mana problems, so I'm going to throw a net here. That's going to have a 3-second disable. We're waiting for the arrow, and I'm going to come forward. And I was saving the Riptide a little bit here because I was afraid of Kraken Shell proccing, but it actually didn't proc until he was almost dead there, which worked out just fine. So we get the kill in the long lane, and finally I'm able to get some space here. Barney messed up my last hit there, which is a mistake by him, but no big deal. 25 last hits for 5 minutes in a contested lane is actually okay. Normally you have more last hits as a hard carry, but considering the fact that Tide's been essentially in my face, Anchor smashing me the whole time, I'm pretty happy. Will freaked out right there. He made a lot of noise on Skype because he could have gotten that kill, but he messed it up. That's why I looked over. So yeah, Arcane Boots every, 40 seconds or something, 50 seconds? I can't remember what the timer is at now. I can do a Riptide, which is pretty good. Up to 200 mana here. I have to be a little careful about mana conservation, because if I do get ganked, I'm going to want 100 to be able to cast ulti and walk away. But I am at least somewhat interested in using Riptide, though. The Tide will come forward in a second here. I eat an Anchor Smash again, another 118 damage. Naga Siren's early armor is actually pretty good, though, so it's not the end of the world to take too many Anchor Smashes. A squishier hero like a support would have that trouble, though, and he will run away as soon as our supports show up. I maybe went a little too aggressive there, and they did attack a creep there, I think, so it's the Tide did know. I'm looking at the map. I don't see any wards, but I don't think I can see enemy wards from player perspective right now, so wasn't exactly sure if he knew or not. He might have known that the supports left mid, and then he played it safe and backed off at the appropriate time. That would be my guess. Quelling Blade, a huge godsend though. Oh, missed that one. Always talk about last hitting right when I miss last hits. I was about to Arcane Boots there, which is why I checked Shadow Demon, because I want to make sure he wasn't missing too much mana before I used it. Yeah, it's about 55 seconds for Arcane Boots. So now that the creeps are going to go under tower, I'm most likely going to want to Riptide this. I don't think I did it until a little bit later, but yeah, I figured I wasn't going to get that last hit until I Riptided, so I went for it. And I got that range creep as well, and I actually did get that one, surprisingly. I did not get that one. I teched slightly. I think that was actually the catapult that did the most damage there. It was hard to get that one. It's to get a catapult, it's 3 tower hits. I shouldn't have let him anchor smash me there either, but I didn't see him coming forward. 3 tower hits, and sometimes you can one-shot it there at the end. But again, a Riptide to get a last hit as well as harass the Tidehunter. All good stuff. Arcane Boots again in 5. I was a little worried about him anchor smashing me again, so I played it safe that time because my HP is getting a little low. I do still have 1 salve, but man, he just keeps hitting me with anchors, so I'm going to heal back up to full here. And at this point I said, okay, I've got enough mana regen, but the problem now is that I'm out of HP regen. I just burned my last salve. What do I do about HP regen? Because obviously Tide's not going to leave this lane. I do have a level advantage over him, and I probably have a farm advantage as well, but he's going to continue anchor smashing me, and that's going to be a problem. And how do I deal with this correctly? So what I opted to do was, I think it takes a bit before I buy the items, but what I opted to do was buy Tranquil Boot components. And what that means is you buy a Ring of Regen and you buy a Ring of Protection, and that allows you to end up using Tranquil Boots. Now, you might be a little confused because you're saying, hey, you have Arcane Boots, but the trick is that you can disassemble your Arcane Boots to have a Boots and an Energy Booster, and then you can make Tranquil Boots, and they operate on a different cooldown. They're not matching. Tranquil Boots are different than Energy Booster. Now, it's not a bug or anything. It's kind of like a known abuse in a way is probably the best way that I would describe it. It has not been prevented yet because both of the 2 boots are disassemblable. So basically what you can do is if you buy boots, an energy booster, a ring of protection, and a ring of regen, you can activate both tranquil boots and arcane boots when needed. And in fact, the arcane boots cooldown will be active while you are no matter what. Like you activate it, you disassemble and make tranquil boots and just have like an energy booster sitting. The arcane boots will be cooling down the entire time. So what you can do is, depending on which one you need, you just transform over to that and bam, make your item. So you'll see me do it later. Obviously not doing it right now. We have a lot of heroes top, but actually it looks like they need to be mid. It's despite Windrunner getting a Zeus kill here. If they can get out, that would be pretty good, but Tide sitting forward. I'm looking for the net. There's the net that's going to hit on Tiny, and we're looking for an arrow actually, but I don't know if the arrow is going to land. I was a little bit worried about an anchor smash, but this should guarantee us to get it. Yep, and a little bit of... We did that a little weird. I was considering popping the ulti for that, but he did end up dying. He probably should have shot the arrow while he was netted, in my opinion. That's hard to say. Like, you don't technically need net as well as disruption. They kind of overstack a little bit here. And this is the part where I said, wow, I just took a lot of damage, and that sucks. Skill build right now, I have 2 in net. In the past, at times, I have gotten max net. I really wish I had full HP there, otherwise I maybe would have pressured him. But I can see that somebody else is teleporting, and this is the point where I say, okay, I need to get the regen. I buy a salve, and then I'm like, okay, that's not going to work long term, because that's going to cost me 100, and then when that runs out, then I'm out again. So I sold it back, and then I opted to purchase the Tranquil Boots components. So items are coming back, and for now I'm going to have to play a little safe, because if Tide comes up the lane, he could Ravage Gush anchor me and kill me. So I think I played a little safe here. I do have an 8-charge wand, so it's not the end of the world if I get caught, but I definitely recommend getting the wand, though. I think it's necessary, or at least the magic stick, excuse me. I think it's necessary as a Naga Siren because she is quite mana dependent. So here comes some items. There is one of the items. I only got one. I think I dropped the Ironwood branch, and here we go. So I'm right-clicking, going to disassemble. I'm going to pick up the Boots of Speed, make Tranquil Boots. I can pop the Tranquil Boots and pick up the Energy Booster, and that's exactly it. Now I have a Tranquil Boots with just a basic Energy Booster in. I still have big mana. I popped the Arcane Boots before I transformed, and my HP is now regenerating up to 4.5 per second, so pretty cool. All right, back to skill build. Depending on who you're playing against, I think maxing out net can be useful. If you're playing against a really hard-to-kill hero like Anti-Mage or something like that, then I think getting levels in net is not the end of the world. But in this case here, I'm disassembling again, so I'm picking up the Boots of Speed, which makes Arcane Boots, and again, I'll drop the Ironwood branch down, and bam. So I still get some regen out of this, not quite as much, but with the Ring of Regen, it's going to be okay. And that was actually a Zeus trying to gank me here, but he actually finally teleported under the tower trying to pick up the bounty hunter. So my positioning was pretty safe there, and everything ends up working out. So yeah, I think this is a good option. Another thing you can do as a Naga Siren is you can also go Vanguard early. Vanguard Arcane Boots if you're trying to do more early aggression. That build's not bad. I swear to God, I'm going to finish talking about the skill build at some point. I should have netted this Tide a lot earlier, but I reacted slow. He teleports mid here, and it looks like he is maybe able to help out. I think, yeah, he got a kill on Bounty Hunter just now, and I don't know what he used to do it, but that was a mistake for me. I definitely should have netted the Tide before he teleported. That would have been a big help. It would have at least wasted 135 gold, and on top of that, maybe kept the Bounty Hunter alive. Possibly. I don't know. It's hard to say. Okay, skill build. So yeah, if you're against a really hard to kill hero like Queen of Pain or Anti-Mage, the net does prevent them from blinking. It's also very good against a carry like Lifestealer because Lifestealer will be stopped by the net. The net is physical, which means that it goes through magic immunity. So anyways, the reason I only have 2 net levels right now is because I don't really need it to knock anybody down. I'm mostly just farming this game. At least at the moment, I'm mostly just doing a lot of farming. So I pick up 2 levels of net. I can then pick up to 3 levels of mirror images right now. And that means that I will be able to actually still push and farm and team fight a little earlier than I would have been able to before. If I max out net first, then my mirror image doesn't really get good until level 14, which is quite late, and I'm expecting to have Radiance before then. As you guys can see, I'm up to 2,600 gold, and that's not bad. If we look at my last hits, I'm actually quite a ways ahead of Tide, so I'm pretty happy with how many last hits I have, considering the fact that I was solo versus him. I don't think it's a super easy lane, but considering I had a roaming support, that's really what made the lane one-sided. And he has left at times, so that helps. A little bit of Riptide damage to him. I don't know why he was dancing. I was like in total tryhard mode this game though. HP is almost full once again. The extra ring of protection also helps against Anchor Smash. It's not a bad thing. Tower's getting kind of low, so I was kind of hoping that the supports would roam top so that we could score a kill and then take the tower, because it is a lot of gold and it can accelerate my Radiance pickup, but they are in position, again using smokes, which does help. I threw a net on him because I knew we had a second or two. Waiting for the arrow, and the arrow is going to hit. And that was a demonic purge as well, and that's a pretty easy kill on Tide. I did pick up the kill, but wow, the Zeus ulti. So I just popped the ulti here. I was a little unsure whether we wanted to fight or not, because Windrunner was around. And my positioning was really, really bad right there. Ooh, I did not pop the wand either. So, pretty big mistake for me there. Number one, what I should have done, I actually had mana for a spell. What I ended up doing was kind of staying in position because I wanted to net the Zeus, but my HP was at about half, so it was a big mistake to actually... well, that's a Ravage on Tide. Can't remember... Oh yeah, we did end up surviving that. What I should have done was either... split off using mirror image and then right click my illusions on the Zeus, or I should have just walked away, period. I mean, we already lost the Shadow Demon, we took a lot of nuke damage. I was at half HP. It was not a good thing for me to die there, obviously, so I should have backed off. Everything was fine other than that, and it does end up delaying my EXP and gold. I didn't really want to sell my Quelling Blade at this point, which I probably should have because I could have gotten back to farming top, so instead I just was swinging back towards top lane. I think I have my items finally now. Yeah, I did. Golden Riptide and the Crimson Riptide. You can see them now. So I did actually get them once I died. That's why I died, guys. I did that on purpose, right? Totally. Anyways, at this point, I'm starting to micro my illusions a little bit. You can't really see how I'm doing it, unfortunately, in the player perspective. But basically what I did was I selected all my illusions. I hotkeyed them to 2. And then once I hotkeyed them to 2, I right-click them all on a camp. This is something you see in StarCraft 2 a lot with Zerglings spreading out on the map. What's another good example? That's the best one. If you spread a unit off to what's it called? A watchtower. I know I missed this last hit. I was pretty mad about it. I didn't know when the Shadow Poison was going to end, so I waited for it, and then I hit it, and then the Shadow Poison ended. I was like, oh god, that was 80 gold. But it's okay. One of our allies got it, so it's not the end of the world. What was I talking about? Micro. Okay. So you select all of your illusions, you right-click them to one camp, you hold Shift, left-click one of the portraits so that there's... What it basically does is removes it from your control group. So then I right-click the next camp, which means that I leave one unit to go where it is. It's a little complicated, but you select them all, hold Shift, left-click one of the illusions, which removes him from your control group. That way, any further controls you use will not affect him. And from there, you do that to all 3 camps. So basically, you just one by one tell them to go somewhere. Take a lot of anchor smashes by the Tide right here. And I was a little more concerned with harassing him rather than denying creeps, which was maybe a mistake. I was a little worried about dying right here, so I popped the wand right away. I'm just going to net him and stroll out of here. He does do another anchor smash, but I knew that he did not actually have a ravage, because I think he used it in the jungle. So again, using the heal because my HP is low, I'm going to disassemble again, pick up all the items, and very wisely he does gush me, which is going to hurt my regen. So since I popped tranquil boots, he's going to break the regen, and for now I'm going to have to play really safe under tower. So it was smart of him to do all this aggression. It cost him a lot of mana to do that, because that was 2 gushes, that was at least 3 anchor smashes, I think, something like that. Kind of a lot of stuff to try to harass me down, but I think it was completely worth it here. And he actually brings me a self. He teleported the top lane and brought me a self, so that's sweet. That's going to get me healed up pretty fast, and I can continue farming. Now, there is a lot of action going on mid lane, but I'm not team fighting, and that's mostly because I'm so close to the radiance that, or the relic that is, that I just want to get it finished. And especially when you're this close, you got to be really, really careful not to die. I do have enough money here, but I'm gonna go try to take the tower. There's a pot of ulti as well, and I just right click myself and my illusions on the tower, because if we can kill this right now, it would be huge. A little Riptide as well, and the tower will go down. Pick up level 12. My illusions are now maximum strength. And I just eat a Zeus ulti, so I'm going to go into the jungle quick. It looks like we are not trading very evenly. Shadow Demon gets a double kill, and looks like Windrunner's also. Oh, I'm sorry, we get a triple kill, and we only lose once. That was very good for us. But I used the Tranquils again. It's going to give me about 175 HP, I think. And I also have my Relic coming, so I'm going to go sell my Quelling Blade. I didn't do this quite effectively. I think that's one of the things that kind of delayed my farm a bit, is I was not as effective as I could have been with positioning. So that was pretty stupid. I sell the Quelling Blade because I want the space, and then I'm like, well, crap, I have a TP scroll. Why I was selling that so that I could have spot for the Radiance, but kind of looks like there might be a fight, so I pop Arcane Boots and I say I'm only 600 away from finishing this, so I need to get the Radiance finished. Once I finish the Radiance, then my real farming can start. I mean, it seems a little silly that that you get a Radiance just to start farming, but in this case, I think it's worth it to get the Radiance, because it will allow me to jungle quite effectively, and you guys will see that later as I do get the Radiance finished. But I'm going to use my illusions here because my HP is a little low. So just a little right-clicking, letting the illusions tank a lot, because I don't want my survivability to stay high. And I've got another Riptide in a second here, which I will use, just because I want to AoE down these creeps, and obviously the minus armor helps a lot as well. But I'm getting quite low on HP. 1,000 HP, and as you can see, they're all pushing mid, so I can't fight quite yet. But I'm going to finish up these camps here, and then I should be able to go back to base and team fight. They're actually fighting right now, but I'm not quite ready. So I don't know if this is necessarily a mistake on me or my allies, but I just need a Zeus ulti, I get down to 200 HP, and at this point I have to go back to base. Unfortunately, I still don't have enough to finish Radiance. I could have maybe gotten there quicker by selling the Ring of Regen, but it looks like the team fight's pretty much over already. We have 2 dead heroes, so I was kind of like, But I also felt like I had to go team fight, so I buy a TP scroll. I'm not sure why it's saying that I can teleport immediately. That's not accurate, but I just need 300 gold, and then I'm able to do a lot more in team fights, because the Radiance Burn is going to be a nuisance against any of their support heroes, or pretty much any of the heroes at all. So into the jungle, queuing up the Radiance, I think, is what I am doing right now. I'm going to right-click these on the Centaur here as he claps. I'm trying to spread out some of the illusions a bit. And there we go. Yep. Riptide does get cast on all of your illusions, by the way. And it looks like there's a team fight happening, so I think I have to shift over, to be honest. I wanted to keep farming, but I mean, stuff is happening. I'm going to net on top of the CM so that she has to stay in position, and I'll Riptide her as well. Puts her pretty darn low. But I don't think there's a whole lot else I could do other than that. 100 gold away for now for the Radiance, and I am quite ready to purchase, I must say. We can see most of their team, but I've got to get more last hits. I think somebody got arrowed. I'm not really sure why I'm running in circles here. I feel like I'm not using my time very well. Could have been farming right now, but maybe people were talking or something. Again. Yep, he's going to die. I almost ultied that, I think, but then the Zeus ulti hit and killed him, so. And to make matters worse, I actually was sending my illusions over there, and they ended up getting killed by the enemy heroes. So even still, this last 600 gold took quite a while to pick up, unfortunately. This looks like a really good opportunity to use my Tranquil Boots, but I don't think I did. So yeah, even though arcane boots don't give you a lot of attack speed or HP regen, I still think they're the best choice for Naga Siren because he does need some kind of regen. I think some of the Chinese teams actually, what they were doing originally, we're going to lose the tier 2 tower here. Windrunner is dead and I just picked up the Radiance, but a lot of the Chinese teams were actually just going fast Lincoln Sphere on Naga Siren rather than getting Radiance Arcane first. I think that build sounds okay. It's pretty good for survivability in the early game, but that's kind of how they're playing Naga Siren. They weren't really playing her as like an insane farmer. They were going like Lincoln Sphere into Heart or something weird, just for a lot of survivability on the hero so that she was effective. But with Radiance up, I can now push and jungle a little faster. I'm getting ready to go to the team fight, and I just wanted to make sure I got all the rest of them. I actually didn't have a TP scroll, so I probably should have ran earlier, but it's not looking too good for our team here. Spawn illusions off, but the nice thing about this is I can kind of spread them out, send them in one by one so that they're forced to kill them, and then when they run out, I send in another one. For example there, quite a few nukes. Yeah, we were able to kill Morphling, which is excellent. He was way too far forward here. Now I'm going to pop my ulti to try to set some stuff up here. I think I might have forgotten my illusions. It looks like they're maybe dead. Morphling's going to buy back, surprisingly. But we opted not to go in on that, actually. I was talking to the allies, and they were kind of like, we shouldn't. And then we're awesome when we all took a... Wow. Oh, he got silenced. That's a huge silence from Will. He almost ultied that, but he didn't get to. And now I'm in a really weird spot. My HP is still pretty low. So I'm going to spawn illusions again, send those in. See if I can do anything with them. A little bit of net there, and he just killed everything so easily. Again, silence. I'm really trying not to die here, but I've got to be so careful. Arrow's going to whiff, and I eat another one of those nukes, so I'm going to riptide this and get out of here. He takes one of my last hits, and I'm going to go back and heal. So this is one of the problems with this build, is even though I did get a Radiance at a semi-normal time, I've been forced to team fight a lot. Like in a normal situation, if things are beautiful, what you'll be doing is just jungling at this point. You say, oh, whatever, I've got my Radiance, I can now go get a lot of farm, and I can get to my heart a little quicker. But they kind of forced this into defending, and because I got my Radiance up, they were a little scared about fighting, I think. But now, since we ended up holding them off, they weren't able to take another tower. I can now go jungle effectively, which is what I'm going to aim to do. So if you are up against a Naga Siren who's going for a Radiance, they had the right plan, which was push early, because they do have a Morphling who has the option of out-carrying me, but it's not the easiest thing ever. So this is the start of me microing this, but I didn't do the best job in it, but I'm spreading them out, basically trying to keep the illusions alive. I did lose one of them, actually. Didn't quite micro it perfectly, but sending the illusions into the jungle, and then I will now kill the top wave as well. So keep in mind that any illusion hero that has Radiance will spawn the illusion burn damage on their illusions, which is why you pick up the Radiance on heroes like Naga and Phantom Lancer. It's just because I don't know why. Oh, I was microing or something. I don't know why I was missing those last hits, but that's the reason you pick them up, because the extra burn damage is full damage. It's not a percentage base like all the other skills are. So again, going over here, going back to farm, I'm going to start segmenting them off a bit, and that's exactly what I did. So spreading them out again. I didn't do the best job of making sure that they were auto-attacking the whole time that they were there, but even still, yeah, I actually missed some Riptide there. At least one. See, that one was just standing there the whole time, for example. That one was actually attacking, so. Regardless, I'll clean these up. So the coolest thing about the mirror image is basically that you can kill 4 camps at the same time. I should have been in the fight, by the way. That was really late TP. I wasn't even paying attention this time either. So I was big time late. I was late by like 15 seconds in that fight. I should have been able to ulti before that many people died, but we lost 3 heroes before I was able to get there. And Will said it on Skype. He said, I think you should have been there earlier, and I completely agreed. That was really bad, losing my illusions as well, but I definitely should have been there earlier. But by the time I looked, the tower died, and at that point I was screwed. So if the tower didn't die and I teleported a little earlier, we could have possibly defended that better, but we lost 3 heroes because of my mistake there. At least, well, it's hard to say. I mean, maybe my team shouldn't have been initiated on, but regardless, I should have been able to at least save 1 extra guy there before that ended up happening. So now, the reason I'm going Heart next should be pretty obvious, as was seen by the last Keeper of the Light blast, and it's because Keeper of the Light nuke does way too much damage to me. So I dropped my Ring of Protection. I'm going to send that back on the Courier, and I'm going to go try to teamfight right now. It looks like Will's going to die again, most likely. I don't think, yeah, I was not able to get there in time. So again, we're kind of just getting picked off and stuff like that. I more than anything, I really just want to sit in the jungle and farm, but that's not always something that you can do, and that's exactly what we're aiming to do right now. Trying to pick up some farm. The nice thing about this hero at least is that I can actually do something while they're farming. Or while they're pushing, excuse me. Like, we can't really leave our base very effectively, but I can just right-click my illusions in the jungle and kill camps, and I won't get the experience for it, but even getting the harass from the illusions like that is pretty fantastic. And as you can see, I did half of the damage to Keeper of the Light's HP, so it's pretty good. Missed one last hit there. Sick last hits, am I right? And then I missed one. Pretty typical. So pretty much time you have mirror image up, you should just use it, send your illusions into the random areas, and yeah, good stuff like that. We did see them pushing top, and we wanted to set up for this. Windrunner is actually not quite here, but I was waiting to see if I could spot anybody, and I actually took quite a bit of damage before I was able to split off or pop my ulti, but I want to spread the illusions out. Morphling's actually going to be here for this one. I do get a Riptide on quite a few. Really good kill on Zeus there. That was a really nice play from Will to set that one up. Keeper Light's going to die pretty easy. And we won a teamfight pretty well. That was really just largely just a super, super good shackle. I was considering netting on the Tide, but then my animation got canceled a couple times. And then that happened. Bad things happened. That was a buyback from Zeus there. He was able to drop the ulti. Because buybacks are definitely useful for heroes like Tide or Zeus. When we kill them before they use it, then they know that even if they buy back, they can still teamfight at full potential. But that went bad really fast. The Blink Ravage was excellent, and the Zeus ulti after that was just so much AoE damage. So that was pretty cool. Sick kill from Will. Gets another kill mid on the Tide. So it was a really nice team fight coming out of them. They did a great job there. On the bright side, my last hits are still okay. I would have liked to have a heart. Again, I want a lot of HP because even though my illusions take an extra large percentage of damage, let's see what they do exactly when I click back on my hero. I was just checking items right now. 200% damage. That means they take 3 times the damage, I think, technically. No, they take double the damage. If you say an increase of 100%, that's double damage, which is the same as they take 200%. I think that's how the math works. So anyways, if an AoE does 300 damage, that means, or 500 damage for example, that means it would just about one-shot my illusion. So I definitely got to get a heart. If I'm sitting about 200 or 2000 HP, that means it takes a lot more nukes and damage to kill my illusions here. It looks like there's a team fight happening, one disruption or something. Again, putting the illusions in the jungle, so I can pick up some quick farm. Should be pretty safe, and again, I can do this every neutral creep spawn. Just send the illusions in, spread them out, and kill one camp each. Again, we don't get the experience, but just getting the gold is pretty darn good. I mean, it's kind of similar to what an anti-mage can do, if you guys remember what anti-mage does, which is Battle Fury and Blink around. You just kill a camp, kill a camp, kill a camp, kill a camp. You can get 4 at least every single creep spawn, and here we go again. So it is now 30. The creeps spawn again. I'm going to spread them out a bit. Just going to put them on various camps, and I will play it safe. We have no vision right now, so I was feeling a little worried about this. I'm going to make sure that this right clicks, and now I can Riptide everything. So Radiant Spurt on top of that is enough to kill camps usually. All works out quite nice. Yep, and I get the Ogre camp as well, and I'll send that over there. So within 20 seconds I kill 4 camps. That should be about 300, 400 gold, something like that, I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, but I did one little Riptide to try to clean that up, but I think I didn't get it. But still, I'm going to get all of these camps before the 4 every minute mark. And this is something that you can basically do very easily with Naga Siren. I won't be able to farm lanes as often doing it this way, but it still works out okay, in my opinion. Looks like I did kill 1 creep. So cool. Entire jungle killed every minute, basically. Mirror image, spread them out. Good stuff. Morphling actually has a Linken's as well as an Ethereal Blade. I'm not too concerned about that myself. I could actually be a pretty good target for getting nuked down. I think definitely Naga is a hero that would be worthwhile to use the combo on, but as long as my positioning is okay and I'm able to use Song of the Siren to set up okay, it should be alright. And again, for setups, I'm really just trying to activate it when we're about to team fight, and that should allow my allies to get into perfect positioning, or at least what they choose to be perfect positioning. And we do know that the Tide also has a Blink Dagger, so that means what I'm going to want to do most likely in team fights is I want to position my illusions to be he didn't mean to steal those, by the way. I wanna he apologized on Skype. I don't want to put my illusions next to Tide. That way Bounty Hunters gets found in the jungle. Really dead. I want to put my illusions next to Tide so that the Radiance Burn hits Tide, which means that he will not be able to blink. That's also very, very important. If I can prevent him from blinking at the start of the team fight, then it should give us a team fight advantage. Again, spreading these out again. That is a Tide illusion, it looks like. It looks like I thought it was a real one. Again, they're trying to push us in, so I cannot quite fight. I really wish that I could pick up my Reaver here, but they're pressuring right when I'm interested in grabbing it.
Radiant's bottom tower's done for.
I could spawn mirror illusions or mirror image again, but I am just sitting here for some reason. Not sure why. It's a little soften up on the Shadow Demon. Smart to do when he doesn't have any HP regen. And there we go. Spreading my illusions out. I was a little afraid of them pushing in, so I just wanted to spread them out a lot so that if they took any damage nukes that they won't, or if there is AoEs, they're unlikely to all get hit, unless it's like a Ravage or something. But figured I might as well pick up a little mana for now, and looks like the creep wave is forward, and they have backed off. I don't think we see any of them on the map now. We just now see Zeus on bot lane, so we're probably saying, okay, we're safe now, but Reaver's coming back, and I will be able to get some of this farm. It's actually a lot of gold. That's 140 gold. Pretty good stuff. There we go. So up to 2k HP. We're going to go try to snag a Roshan. The nice thing about Roshan, make sure you don't right-click your illusions on Roshan, by the way. But the nice thing about him, the Aegis is very, very good. I can spread my illusions out. If we get jumped on and we feel like we're in a bad position, I can always just pop silence, or pop pop Song of the Siren. Really wanted to kill that courier, but it's really tough. Especially when if you look at my items, I have very, very low agility, which means my base damage is quite low. Ooh, Master Roshi getting snake there. It's a good shackle on him. Mostly scouted up by my illusions, of course. Which means I'm going to take almost all credit for that kill. So we should be able to push off of this. We now have the Aegis. The reason we put it on Windrunner, not me, is because I really wasn't much expecting to get killed. Wow, did he die? We already lost one hero, so I wasn't quite sure if we wanted to fight this. Zeus actually buying back for this. I didn't see Aosin's missile come through when I played the first time, but we are going to be able to net him, and I think this is the part where we need to run away. We didn't lose anybody past that team fight, but it was not looking too good, especially when the fight starts before Bounty Hunter even. I mean, Bounty Hunter just died right away. It makes things a little tough. But I've almost got hard finished. That'll give me enough regen to stay in the fight. I did end up selling all of the Tranquil Boots components, by the way. Obviously, they weren't that useful at this point. They were useful at critical parts of the fight, of the laning stage, though. It's a little expensive. It's like, what, 500 gold to have the Tranquil Boots, but I think it was probably worth it. I used it a little bit less than I thought I did when I played the game, and it did delay my Radiance a bit, but staying in lane was pretty important. And actually, if you look at it there, I still had the Ring of Protection, and a Ring of Protection at this point is not a bad item to have. Their damage output is mostly magic because of Morphling, but the 2 armor on top of the heart that I just got, I actually felt pretty good about this. I was like, I've still got this Ring of Protection, but it's fine. Totally okay to have. Did I? Yep, I did just eat the Illuminate, but spreading my illusions out. Looks like they'd actually jungle. They took all the jungle for us, but okay, message right now, guys. 1 sec. Where is it? All right, cool. So yeah, not a whole lot has happened, just jungling a little bit, spreading things out. We still don't have very good ward vision. That's the only thing that kind of sucked about this game, is we didn't have a whole lot of vision. But my mana's getting a little low at this point because I'm pretty much casting Mirror Image every chance I get, which is actually more often than Arcane Boots can keep me up. There's a lot of heroes bot, actually, it looks like. Zeus is canceling his ulti for fun. Just a funny guy and stuff. So I decided to right-click my illusions on the support heroes, just for the damage output. They do have to deal with those. I didn't mean to run in that close, by the way. That was miss micro mostly. Zeus like really likes canceling his ulti. Spreading them out again. It looks like I'm clicking on my damage attribute, but that's where the control grouping is actually. So I hope you guys aren't bored of watching me auto attack neutral camps with my illusions yet, but it is happening. And it's actually okay that Will is there to do that. Even if he takes the gold, it's not the end of the world, because if he doesn't get the last hits, then he actually gets the experience. And since I'm not there to get the experience normally, then it's in a way a waste. Again, Bounty Hunter's going to get killed by Morphling. Morphling just keeps crapping on him. It's the one hero that Morphling can deal with quite easily. Alright, so now you might be wondering, what do I do with my item build at this point? What you want to do is most likely go for damage. I was a little unsure when we were playing, so I asked everybody in the party, and they said I should go Diffusal. So I'm going to get a Diffusal next. The reason I'm grabbing a Diffusal is because at the moment I'm great at AoE damage and farming and stuff like that, but I need more right-click and solo damage potential against heroes like Morphling. So at the moment I can't deal with Morphling very well, but I should be able to soon. If I pick up something like a Diffusal Blade, be able to clean up that AoE or those camps very easy. 1,500 gold, and I'm only halfway to Diffusal Blade, which is not terrible. I felt like my farm was actually pretty slow at this point, but I think most of that is just because Naga Siren as a carry doesn't really get a whole lot of solo kills, and at least that's how I feel about it. I've got 7 assists this game. I missed a couple team fights that I could have been at, and I haven't been able to be as aggressive as I wanted to just because I didn't have a heart earlier, and they actually have quite a bit of burst damage with Zeus and Morphling and all this stuff. If they had more typical heroes, maybe I would feel more comfortable to be really aggressive and snag some kills, but hasn't really been the case this game. If you can get the arrow off on him, that would be a kill. Kind of looks like we're team fighting. I should put my ulti down because I knew that we were hoping to initiate on this. Morphling was quite solo right here. So we're hoping to get the, yeah, it was a perfect arrow there. And that is going to be a kill. The Ravage is going to hit a lot of people, but at this point, as you can see, I took a lot of burst, but I'm still doing alright. And not so much anymore, but they've used most of their nukes at this point, and I'm just going to try to help out as much as possible. We just kind of like cleaned up really hard. And in a second here, yeah, heart kicks back in, 50 HP per second. They want to make the kills happen. I saw which one was the Morphling, so little Riptide on him, and there's a medallion as well. Look at the damage output he's taking. Look at that. We actually had pretty good heroes for dealing with Morphling. The net helps a ton. If the Lincolns goes away and he gets netted, he doesn't move for a long time. Long duration arrows. I think the Shadow Demon had a medallion, and we have my Riptide. And something really cool that's, in a way, a nice counter to Morphling. As he morphs to strength, his agility goes down a lot, and his strength goes up a lot. So that means he gets a lot of HP, but every 7 points of agility that becomes strength, he loses 1 armor. So as he's very strength morphed and has virtually no agility, he has very, very little armor, which means that abilities like Riptide as well as Medallion are really helpful. And as you guys could see there, Medallion and Riptide were on him, which means his armor was lowered by 11, which is, it's pretty significant. So despite him being quite farmed, we were able to burst him down quite fast there. So I think I played that team fight pretty well. My ulti was good. I was a little flustered when the Crystal Maiden and the Tide died. Like my net setup, you could tell, was slightly late. But again, we just took the racks. We don't really want to fight this, so I just turned my ulti on, and we decided to walk away. There's no point to fight this. I mean, maybe we could because it was just a Morphling, but Will got quite ready to fight this after a second here, and I think we'll be able to kill him. Yeah, we are able to kill Zeus. And since we turned back and killed 2 heroes like that, we can actually push back in again. The downside was it was all tier 2 towers, so we can't take those, but a little bit of a net on the Tide Hunter, and yeah, can't TP now or blink now. Pretty big mistake from him, actually. And now we have 4 dead heroes, so getting kind of low on mana. Use Arcane on everybody. And I think we opted to back off and play it safe. I'm going to go farm the top lane and good stuff like that. Can't get all those last hits, unfortunately. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I have 4,600 gold. That's pretty cool. Turns out team fighting is a good way to get farm, guys. Keep that in mind. Even though I've been farming pretty efficiently with jungle camps on Riptide and things like that with my illusions, it's not always the fastest way to do it. Mana's very low, and I'm going to have to go back to base for this for sure. There's no way. It would take forever for my arcanes to fill me back up at this point. My end game looks okay, but... after Diffusal Blade, I knew that was my Ironwood branch, so I picked it up again. It's like, hell yes. 26 gold. It's like half a last hit, dudes. Better sell those. After the Diffusal Blade, I wanted to go for Manta. Whenever you get a Diffusal, if you're an agility hero, Manta style is actually a really, really good follow-up. I bought a TP scroll so that I could TP back to the base to get more mana. And I'm going to be picking up a Yasha to start off the Manta style. Reason Yasha before Ultimate Orb is because at this point my HP is pretty good. That would be the main reason I'd grab an Ultimate Orb. So really what I want to have is movement speed as well as a little bit more agility. So now I've got some agility into the hero. It means my illusions do more right-click damage, much more than they did in the past. They are still very tanky, and they have the Radiance Burn on top of that. I'm actually starting to be a pretty viable carry at this point. It's pretty late in the game, 42 minutes. There's a lot of carries that can carry better than Naga Siren right now, but her ulti is arguably very, very useful if you combo with the right abilities, so... we'll make it work. Aosin's playing like max support. He's got a pipe and a mech. I don't even think he grabbed Arcane Boost this game for some reason, which is kind of weird, but he probably should have.
Tower's getting banged up.
Yeah, Manta style is what I want to do next. Oh yeah, I didn't really explain why Diffusal Blade plus Manta was really good. The reason that Diffusal Blade plus Manta is really, really good is because if you're a melee agility, or any melee hero technically, but a melee agility especially, you get a lot of agility from the Diffusal as well as the Yasha, and the Manta that is. But mostly if you make illusions of melee heroes, the Diffusal Blade will apply to them. So that includes Phantom Lancer, that includes Anti-Mage. That's why Anti-Mage Manta is so good. We found a Morphling illusion, and then we killed him, but we didn't know he's an illusion. It was a mistake. Aosin actually called us out. He's like, dude, it didn't remove smoke. It was obviously an illusion. And they were like, oh, you're right. Damn. So anyways, spread out the illusions a little bit. Go farm some camps. Roshan is back up again, so we should be able to kill it. At this point, I was still not that worried about dying. I don't think I got Aegis here. I think we kept it on the Windrunner, I'm pretty sure. But we spotted a Keeper of the Light, so I'm just going to like right-click all my illusions over there to try to keep the Radiance Burn up on him, and that's... did a little bit of damage, but unfortunately they timed out, so... Mana's looking pretty healthy as well. Manta style help out a bit with that. It would be kind of fun to actually get a Lincoln Sphere at this point. It would have been fun to get. If I was looking for more defensive than offensive damage potential, I think that would have been okay. Because the heroes that I'm worried about, Zeus, even a little disable from Crystal Maiden, or... would be a little annoying, but largely it's the nuke from Morphling that we would have to be careful about. I'm spreading my illusions out here just in case, just for vision basically, because it's nighttime. So I put one above the trees because I figured there was a chance that somebody like Tide was sitting there waiting to blink, so I wanted to go see if he was there. And the other ones I was looking for other heroes in lane, but I'm gonna put the illusions. Look at the damage on Zeus. It was so much damage. I'm hitting quite hard. I think I maybe... oh, can we kill him? We actually didn't get him, but I think maybe I should have ultied that. I'm not completely sure. But I knew that he was very low. He popped a ghost, or he popped a cyclone. It ended up working out for our favor to not do it there, because as you saw, he popped ulti, and then we just defended it. I was thinking about ulti in there. I almost casted it, but everybody was like making weird noises on Skype. Like I was like, I'm gonna ulti, and people were like, and I was like, it sounds like they don't want me to do it for some reason, and I was confused, and then it didn't happen. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna use it. I don't know who has a Necro 3 on our team. Shadow Demon maybe. I'm not sure. The wave will again take some damage. Alright, and there's my ulti. I saw Zeus was pretty far forward, so I wanted to make sure to spread out. I'm going to put at least one illusion on the Tidehunter, and I spread all the illusions out. Little damage here and there. Zeus is going to go in there. Bounty Hunter will die pretty quick again. It's a great disruption from Shadow Demon. And also to have my illusions up really helps. We got the tower, but I wouldn't say that went super well. I would say I was thinking about going back in on this, but unfortunately we didn't catch anybody. I'm gonna Riptide him from the low ground because I didn't really want to commit that hard. If I would have gone high ground there, I probably would have died. So the low ground Riptide was a good choice. If we just wait this out a bit, I will heal up to full. So just gonna play slightly safe here. Little drum poppage there so we can get high ground. Again, I have my ulti. Let's go on Mr. Roshi. I right-clicked them on him this time. They did quite a bit of damage, but the waveform killed them. And because he was responding from an Aegis and my mana was a little low, I opted to back up. I think. Oh, Bounty Hunter still. Wow, he was really far in there. I didn't even see Bounty Hunter in there, but he was too far forward. We mentioned that as well. I don't think he needed to be all the way in there. Oh, he hit Tide. That's pretty good. I'm pretty much out of mana at this point. I did a little bit of damage to the Morphling to try to make something happen, but I'm just kind of like tethered basically to my allies, looking for opportunities. That was a solid kill.
Somebody's cooking. 7 in a row. 2 down.
They told me to purge this, and I was confused for a while. I was like, what are you talking about? And then I realized, I was like, oh god, that's right. Diffusal Blade does maximum damage to summon, so I should have done that way earlier. Would have saved a bunch of mana. Very good against Warlock Golem as well. You can use it against the Warlock Golem. Summoned units or illusions does extra damage.
Radiant's bottom rags. It's done.
So we get the melee barracks. We don't really have to fight. I have ulti right now. And again, I'm going to save him. I was a little late on that, but it worked. And I'm going to have to do a TP. Runs out a little bit early. I TP'd a little bit late there. Ideally, you want this song to be still casting by the time you teleport, but I just did that to confirm that they weren't going to be able to follow up and kill Windrunner. So there we go. I have Ultimate Orb now. I'm going to be finishing Manta Style next. And keep in mind where the game was earlier. They were pushing really hard. We were a little worried about getting Raxed, and now we're sitting pretty solid. I'm going to be able to get Manta Style. I'll have a TP scroll on top of that. Next item after this would be either Daedalus, Butterfly, or Diffusal Blade 2. Probably Diffusal Blade 2 because it's really cheap. It's only $8.50 and it actually just about doubles the illusion mana burn that your illusions do, which is good. Don't be afraid to do that. But the illusions do so much more right-click damage now. It's impressive. Now that they have plus 60 agility, it's just a world of difference largely. Really, really big difference. They don't do all that damage, of course. I think they only do 45%. That's pretty good for illusions, actually. These illusions are quite strong. They take very little damage, and they do quite a bit. Not as useful as a Phantom Lancer, but still pretty good. And now we're going to look to push the top lane. We have Rax mid lane. We've also gotten the melee creeps on the bot Rax, which means that we don't need to be pushing there. You really only need the melee before you need to leave the lane, because the lane will push enough with just melees. So that means we can now basically just sit top and slow push until we're able to take mega creeps, if that's possible. But we've been kind of winning team fights after team fights. They haven't been completely one-sided, but we're feeling confident now, so things are looking up for us. Should be able to take this. Will has very good items. MKB, Daedalus, and an Orchid. Really good stuff. I'm going to finish up my Manta Style here. So I'll be able to use the Manta Style for more pushing. And all of a sudden, we didn't see them coming, but they smoked behind us. So as soon as we spotted them, I just put my ulti down. Putting my illusions spread in the middle of them. I had no idea where I was that fight. I popped Manta as well, though. Dodge the Anchor Smash, or the, sorry, the Ravage, just barely. Oh, so much damage on the CM. He let him die. I think he tried to power shot the Keeper. Keeper TP'd or something, it looks like. But at that point, we had another team fight. My ulti reaction time was good there. I kept everybody alive. Barney blew some of his cooldowns to try to save himself, which was the right reaction from him. But I was able to stop their initiation. It was very smart of them to come from the backside, but the nastiness that is Naga Siren, like, what are you supposed to do against it? It's like, well, if she gets it off, like, the team fight stops and it allows your team to set up, and that's exactly what happens. So because of that, we were able to win a pretty easy team fight, keep the team fight pretty consistent, and with our good gold advantage, we got the win. So that's a carry, Naga Siren. It's not the most effective carry. I would say there's much more mobile, better team fighting carries that you can use, but it worked okay. I think my GPM was maybe a little lower than it could have been, but considering how much pressure there was on us in the early game, it was not the... I think I did okay. 511 GPM is okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. With a Radiance, a good player would get it higher because they would get kills and they would never die. One of those times I did die with a pretty big mistake. That was the when I ultied top and I stayed. I should have walked away. If I would have walked away, the only time I would have died was when they wombo comboed us by their tier 2, and that death was pretty much going to happen. So that's the end of the game, guys. There's the match ID. I'm sure I posted it in the drop-down box below. If you guys ever want to watch these in-game with my commentary like this, you can. Like, if you'd rather just look at other things in the map than me talking or my player perspective, you can do that, but it's up to you. And thanks everyone for watching this Naga Siren. I think I played her pretty much the same as I did the last time I made a video of her. I didn't get Diffusal Blade this time, but which is the most popular illusion build at the moment, but I'll let it go. I felt like doing it this way, and that's what happened, and we won. So thanks everybody for watching. Go check out my stream. I should be streaming right now. Twitch.tv/PurgeGamers, or you can go to my website, purgegamers.com/stream. That's probably the best place to watch my my stream. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.